There is only one game left for the entire 2021-22 NFL season, but for 30 of 32 NFL teams, this season has been over, and for a lot of those teams, it has been over for quite some time. The start of the offseason is a time to reflect on how both teams and players performed over the course of a season, and that's what we are going to do in today's video. We are going to be grading picks 1 through 16 from the 2021 draft. We did pick 17 through 32 a couple of days ago, and the link for that video will be at the end of this if you'd also like to watch that. We will be going in reverse order from pick 16 to 1, so we will be starting with Zaven Collins of the Cardinals and ending with Trevor Lawrence from Jacksonville, so without further ado, let's begin. Zaven Collins on the stat sheet did not have an impressive rookie season, as he had just 25 tackles, and Jordan Hicks played most of the snaps where he was supposed to. The belief for Cardinals fans was to, in a sense, redshirt him, like they did with Isaiah Simmons in 2020, who had a 100-plus tackle, 4 forced fumbles second season in 2021. Zaven Collins played in more than 50% of the snaps in a game just twice this past year, and because of that, his grade through one season is incomplete. However, look for him to be on the rise in 2022. 15 was Mac Jones, the 5th quarterback taken in the first round, and McCorkle is a tough one to grade. On one hand, you can say, hey, look at the team's success, and his for that matter, as he was recently announced as a Pro Bowl alternate, and he led his team to a playoff appearance. However, you can easily counter and say, well, yes, but they also won a game against the Bills with him throwing the ball 3 times, so how much does Mac truly have an impact on the game, right? He threw 22 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, and the Pats won 10 games. A year later, Mac looks like the quarterback for the next decade, but clearly did not have a Justin Herbert all-time rookie season, and because of that, Mac gets an A. 14 was Elijah Vera-Tucker, the 2nd Jets first-round pick, and for a rookie guard, he played well. Yes, he certainly struggled in pass pro at times, as what rookie offensive lineman doesn't. He was a mauler in the run game, and if he and Micah can both stay healthy, these two can help out their young quarterback by consistently moving men in the run game. A year later, AVT gets a B+. Rashawn, Slater, or Penei, Sewell, who's your tackle 1? Well, all Rashawn did in his rookie season was be named to the Pro Bowl and be named a second-team All-Pro, and for a team that was very worried a year ago about protecting their franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert, who is a star in his own rights, they found their guy for the next decade to back him up. Slater is the prototypical left tackle you plug and play for the next decade, an A+ selection for the Chargers. Micah Parsons exceeded everyone's wildest expectations heading into the season. He was so far and away the favorite for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Most gambling sites took the odds off to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and very rarely does that happen. Parsons played absolutely everywhere for the Cowboys and did all of those jobs well. He looks to be a true once-in-a-generation player and was the most dominant defensive rookie since at least 2014, which was when Aaron Donald burst on the scene. This is truly one of the easiest grades of the 2021 draft class, and Parsons, not surprisingly, gets an A+. 11 was Justin Fields to the Chicago Bears, who traded up from pick 20, and we'll discuss this with another quarterback later in the video, maybe a couple more even. But the Bears did not do a good job of building around their guy in year 1. The O-line was not good, the receivers weren't great, and Chicago has to do better for Justin moving forward. Now, also to be fair, Justin can play better, as he was one of 3 quarterbacks to throw more interceptions than touchdowns. That's obviously not good, and a year later, Fields gets a C-. The wide receiver Heisman Trophy winner Devonta Smith was the Eagles' first-round pick, and credit Howie Roseman for making the jump from 12 to 10 to go get your guy, rather than play him for 10 years, because he was going to the Giants at pick 11. Smitty had a 900-yard rookie year and was a solid contributor on a team that went to the postseason. He will build on it in 2022, assuming he stays healthy, of course, and be a receiver for Philly for quite some time. A B+ grade for Devonta. 9 was corner Patrick Surtain, the 2nd to Denver, and he had a great rookie season. He had the lowest passer rating allowed in coverage among rookie corners via Pro Football Focus, and had 4 interceptions and a defensive touchdown. He looks to be a great corner for the next decade, and it looks like Denver hit a home run with this pick. An A grade, not an A+, because we try and reserve those for the elite of elite seasons like the Micahs, Rashawn's, and maybe someone else later in the video, and I would like to say there's a possibility this gets bumped up a year or two from now. Back-to-back corners was how the 2021 draft went, and while Surtain shined in year 1, J.C. Horn unfortunately could not because of an injury. He looked very good for a rookie corner when he was healthy, and I really hope we get to see him fully healthy in 2022. The potential is very high with Horn, and I hope we see a resurgence of the Panthers next year. Horn had ridiculous tape during his time at South Carolina, and I fully expect it to translate next year, an incomplete grade at the moment. 7 was the big man, Penei Sewell to the Detroit Lions. Now, Sewell had a rough preseason and rebounded in a big way, easing any of the concerns Lions fans had entering the 2021 season. The epitome of Detroit tough and the Dan Campbell style of football with grit and we're going to take your lunch money type aggression. It was extremely fitting first selection for the Dan Campbell era to draft what will more than likely be a future Pro Bowl lineman, a big guy in the trenches. He is the real deal, and a year later gets an A. Jaylen Waddle was picked immediately after Jamar Chase, and with Miami having a not great start to the year and having to climb the whole way back from 1-7, the team more so than any player in particular was getting attention during the run, and within the 2021 season, Jaylen was productive. He had 100 catches and 1,000 yards as a rookie, which is obviously very good. But unfortunately, he can't have the same grade as Jamar because of how generational of a talent he was. Jaylen is still a very, very good player in his own rights and gets an A grade. Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell was the big question, and everyone had an answer depending who you asked. A year later, all Jamar did was break all the rookie receiving records, be named to the Pro Bowl, though won't play in it because of a much bigger game, and play a huge part in beating the Kansas City Chiefs not once, but twice. This, like Parsons, is a very easy grade. Both players are generational talents and receive the rare A+. After the first 3 quarterbacks was Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons. Pitts is a great player, and what we are grading here is Pitts' performance. Not that they could have had a Jamar Chase or Micah Parsons or even Rashawn Slater or Penei Sewell, whoever. This is Pitts only, and he had one of the best rookie seasons ever for a tight end, as he had a 68-catch, 1,026-yard season. What needs to be remembered, again, the production, not the positional value, not who was selected after him, and not the team's success, because Pitts is a tight end, he's not a quarterback, and obviously there's a lot more that goes into it than just the quarterback. There's coordinators, coaches, and everything else. Now that's getting into something entirely different, but it's not an exaggeration to say Pitts had a season a rookie tight end has never had, and for that reason gets an A+. Trey Lance was the number 3 overall selection, and it's hard not to imagine he'll be a good quarterback at some point in time, working in not only Kyle's system, but him being an offensive weapon in his own rights. An offense with him, Debo, George Kittle, and whichever running back they want, like Elijah Mitchell, for example, will be very difficult to stop, especially when you factor in Lance's running ability that Jimmy G simply does not have, and defenses this year did not have to account for. Because Lance did not consistently play, though, a year later, he gets an incomplete grade. Zach Wilson went to the Jets, and he, like most rookie quarterbacks, had significant ups and downs in year 1. If you want to see the good, the ups, then watch the Titans game in which he made several big throws and beat a playoff team. And those Titans beat a lot of playoff teams in their own rights. The Jets are rebuilding and are not a great team, so it wasn't really surprising to see him struggle the way he did in Week 18 against a team like the Bills. The Jets are putting pieces around him and have been flashes, but a year later, with completing just 55% of his passes and throwing 11 interceptions to just 9 touchdowns, he gets a C-. Trevor Lawrence solidified himself as the number 1 pick long before the 2021 draft and did not have a good rookie season, right, wrong, or indifferent. It was truly a nightmarish year for him in the Jags with Urban Meyer with the lack of help he had around him, as he was at a point throwing to Laquan Treadwell consistently. The Jags failed Trevor and failed building around one of the best prospects in the past decade, and not surprisingly, he did not play well. A year later, Trevor gets a C, though I do think, like with him and Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, it will improve over time. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. If you're this far into the video and enjoyed, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it would be very much appreciated. And until next time, please comment your thoughts below. Let me know grades you agree with, disagree with, and anything else. So until next time, be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.